What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Rasslin, and this is my review for the June 3rd episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow House of Rasslin on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. So, wow. We had a great match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros. We had a solid match between Keira Hogan and Athena. We had a squash match from Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. We had a decent main event match between Dante Martin and Scorpio Sky. But the talk that is coming out of Rampage is CMPunk came out. It was announced maybe a couple hours before the show that CMPunk had a major announcement regarding the AEW Championship in his career. So basically, there was a little bit confusion because he announced that he was injured. He announced that he was supposed to, he wanted to relinquish the title. Tony Khan said no. So once he finished the segment, he's like, I'm going to, he left it off. He's like, I'm going to be a fighting champion. This is just a bump in the road. This is a setback for the comeback. So many words. But then it was clarified on commentary. So this Wednesday, we're getting a battle royal to start off Dynamite. And the winner, from what came across, is going to face Jon Moxley. I don't know if it's going to be later that night or down the road, but the winner of that match will go on to Forbidden Door and I guess face Tanahashi. That's interesting. The rankings that were released on June 1st had Wardlow as the number 1 contender, Adam Cole as the number 2 contender, and Hangman Page as the 3rd contender, and Moxley the 4th contender. And before I came on and started this review, a lot of people are like, well, how is Moxley going to be the number 1 contender when you have all these guys before him? So, not saying it makes sense, but this does kind of lean into how it may be explained. The Wardlow has the class action lawsuit from Mark Sterling. So that whole thing, if he's banned or not, or that whole thing, Adam Cole, if you remember, he couldn't wrestle this past Dynamite because he was injured. So maybe he could be injured or somewhat. If he's on a match card this coming week, then that doesn't make sense. Why he is not the number 1 contender, because he's ahead of Jon Moxley. Hangman Page, he lost. I think he did the same thing when he lost the tag titles with Kenny Omega, that he went away for a while. That's like a norm for his character. And then of course we got Moxley. So that's it doesn't make sense that it should be Wardlow, but with the storylines and everything, that's how it possibly could be explained. Not saying it is if you're watching this, but I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Who's going to be in the Battle Royal? First thing that came to my mind, I'm like, okay, is MJF going to be in this Battle Royal? Me personally, with all the hype that MJF is getting, it would be cool if he is in the Battle Royal and he beats Moxley to become the interim world champion. Because let's clarify, Excalibur did mention on commentary that the winner, whoever becomes the interim AEW champion, will face CM Punk in a unification match down the line. Of course, there has been talk ever since that great promo on Wednesday that, are we going to get CM Punk and MJF at All Out? All Out is basically September, so right now we're in June, July, August, September, in 2 months. So MJF has the title for 2 months, and then we get a unification match at All Out in Chicago. I hope that's the case. This does have some very strong similarities to the Summer Punk in 2011 when he won at Money in the Bank. He left. There was another. John Cena was the interim champion. They had a unification match. He won the title. That whole thing, or was it? No, Nash came in. That whole thing. But I do think they are drawing callbacks to when the Summer of Punk, but the roles are reversed. This is going to be very interesting how this plays out. But yeah, that's what I think. I personally, I would put MJF in this Battle Royal, have him face Moxley, beat Moxley, go to Forbidden Door, win, and be interim AEW World Champion till, you could say, All Out when CM Punk does return, which quite possibly could be when CM Punk returns, and have that match for the AEW World Championship and have MJF win. That's how I would do it. I mean, MJF is hot. He's going viral. It's literally handed to you to do this. So that is the big story coming out of AEW Rampage. The match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, that was a fantastic match. I am not going to try to describe how or what they did. All I'm going to say is you should watch this match. It's arguably possibly the best match ever on AEW Rampage, and that's saying a lot because there's been some matches on AEW Rampage that were really solid, but this was quite possibly the best match on AEW Rampage history. This was an amazing match. The ending where Matt Jackson took Unmasked Penta roll up. They did the BET trigger. Nick Jackson pinned him, and Matt Jackson's wearing the mask. So they were mentioning on commentary if this was in AAA, that would be a disqualification because of the unmasking, that whole thing. So they're tying into their rivalry in AAA, bringing it to AEW. So that I like that. That was really cool. The Powerhouse Hobbs Ricky Starks match. What was hilarious about that match, you seen Powerhouse Hobbs give they didn't even announce their names, one of the jobbers like a one-handed choke slam, and like a couple minutes later, like the match was over. Like for me, like I'm watching and I look down and I'm like, wait a minute, the match is over already? Like that's how quick the match was. They came out strong. Honestly, they should be the AEW World Tag Team Champions, either them or Swerve and Keith Lee. Jurassic Express should not be the world champions. That's just my opinion. It's time for them to, I just think it's time for those guys to go their separate ways. The match between Keira Hogan and Athena, pretty dope match. I liked it. They did some really cool spots. Red Velvet did a nasty interference. By nasty, a really cool and like effective interference. Athena was on the apron, looking to jump over the rope and hit Keira Hogan, and she grabbed her legs and like Athena like sold it nice. Like she hit that apron and like rolled like quick. Like, ooh, it's like damn, that was nasty. There was a part where Athena did a nasty drop kick on Keira Hogan, like with a lot of force. It was like, damn, I hope Keira Hogan's okay, because man, Athena just came with some force, man. Then there was a spot to finish the match where it was like was it like, man, it was like two moves in one. So Athena was on the top rope and Keira Hogan's getting up, and she did like a spinning stunner facebuster thing, something like that. Got the victory, 1, 2, 3. Like I said, it was a decent match. Pretty solid. They're building up Athena to eventually face Jade Cargill. I like Stokely Hathaway being with Jade Cargill and the baddies. so far they really haven't given him free reign to like really sink his teeth into something that he can just go. I did like um his was it his promo he gave that they did, before the match started. And he tells Athena, he's like, you know what? Kiera Hogan wanted to give you some California love and an ass whooping. And I was like, oh man, that's all right. We're getting there. He's building up, those one-liners. Because man, when he was in NXT, he did some stuff, man. He was saying some stuff. It's just like, dude, this guy is entertaining. You get a video of the House of Black with Julia Hart, and basically with like the House of Black, their videos are very I don't want to say detailed, but like they use a lot of big words. There you go. In a long form. That's the best way I could describe it. So basically, in layman terms, Julia Hart said, she mentions, this is the fruits of your labor. And the way I interpreted that was they were basically saying, you fans wanted it. Now you got it. She's with us. We're going to go on a run. That's how I interpret it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So, I mean, we had that. Then we had the CMPunk thing, which I mentioned earlier. And then we had the Dante Martin Scorpio Sky match. That match, I don't know if it was the Young Bucks took away time from the main event. This was an okay match. I don't know if Scorpio Sky got injured because he was favoring his ankle, which would suck for another injury because he was off for quite a bit of a time. Time, was it like a couple years ago with his his knee or something like that, and he was out for a while. So hopefully it's nothing severe, or if there is an injury, there's nothing there. But it was a decent match to finish it off. But I mean, this match happened right after the CM Punk announcement, so everyone's just trying to figure out what did CM Punk say. Is he relinquishing the title? Like, there were so many questions that a lot of people were tweeting, posting, asking on social media. And then that's where Excalibur explained it and everything. But this was a good Rampage show. But man, that CM Punk announcement, this is going to be interesting. I gave my take earlier. I prefer MJF being in the Battle Royal, winning, defeating Jon Moxley, going to Forbidden Door, defeating, if he's going to face Tanahashi, having at least 2.5 months or 2 months to be AEW interim world champion, then eventually face Punk at All Out, because if, Punk said he had to have surgery, it's going to be maybe 2 months, which is the time frame for All Out in Chicago. Have that match, title for title. Winner becomes the undisputed AEW World Champion. That's how I would do it, because MJF, he's got money behind him, and by money, everybody's talking about him, and dude's money. You put the title on him right now as an interim champion, and the promos he can give as far as, you have a champion that, got injured. I've never gotten injured. I've been a solid hand. The promos he could cut as an interim AEW World Champion would be fantastic. So that's how I would do it. But yeah, this is going to be interesting going into Dynamite. Who's going to participate and that whole thing. It makes Dynamite very interesting because we're all left with, okay, we know Moxley's going to fight, but who's going to fight Moxley and who's going to become the interim AEW World Champion? And of course, is MJF going to be in this Battle Royal? That's the question. So, but yeah, that is my review for AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Leave your comments below on what you think, or who do you think will be in the Battle Royal, who will be the AEW interim world champion. I want MJF, but it could be somebody else. But if Tony Khan's a smart businessman, and if this thing is a work, put MJF in that Battle Royal and have him win everything and just have him go through the summer. But that's what I'm thinking, and we just got to watch, watch, and see what unfolds on Wednesday's Dynamite, man. That's pretty interesting build for AEW Dynamite next week. So we'll see what happens. But with that is my review for the June 3rd episode of AEW Rampage. Like I always say, stop fighting over wrestling, because there are some crazy things happening in the world, and some serious things that, I'm sorry, fighting over wrestling isn't the most important, high priority thing that we should be focusing on, because people are experiencing some really deep things that are really affecting them in a negative way. And let's bring more fun to professional wrestling than this bickering and stuff like that, and just let it be what it is, an escape and just entertainment. So with that, I'm out.